So if you guys remember, I did a video talking about the Marvels and how that movie was delayed yet again, and the ultimate woke failure that is the Marvels. And unfortunately for Disney, it seems like a new report has come out and claims to reveal why Marvel Studios just recently delayed that movie again. Now, the funny thing is, bounding into comics, this article it says new report claims to reveal why Marvel Studios delayed Brie Larson's The Marvels film. I don't really know why we're calling it Brie Larson's Marvels film anymore because she did so bad in the first one that they had to take her name essentially out of this because it's not about her version of Miss Marvel anymore. It's two other women. Like they're going to be the focus. You know, the white woman is not going to be the focus, and Brie Larson is highly progressive. So you know she's going to defocus herself in the name of identity politics. So she's not going to want to overshadow the other two. It's just not going to happen. You know, Rambo and Miss Marvel are going to be definitely raised up, and Captain Marvel is going to be lowered down because, again, for diversity and everything. So let's see what Bounding into Comics has to say. It says a new report claims to reveal the reason why Marvel Studios chose to move the Marvels from its summer release date to November. Marvel Studios announced the Marvels was getting pushed back to November 10th with the release of a new poster for the film. On social media, Marvel wrote, "Higher, further, faster together." Check out the brand new teaser poster from Marvel Studios, The Marvels, coming out to theaters November 10th. That is a tongue twister. I mean, how many times do I gotta say Marvels? Oh man, the film was initially slated to release on November 11, 2022. However, during Disney's D23 Expo 2022, the company announced it would be moved back to July 28th of 2023. Now, a new report from The Wrap claims that the reason the film was pushed back to November is to give more time for post-production to complete. Again, I highly doubt that that is the true reason. I think they're probably making edits. I think they're making cuts. I think they're definitely changing up some things that were initially going to be in the story, and now they want to push a different message, maybe. I think they're doing things that are going to allow them to change up the whole story. Otherwise, you need a whole year for post production. You need a year. That's how long you need because it's basically from November 22 to November 23. So that's a whole entire year. You need that. I highly doubt it. It says this report follows Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige hyping the film to Entertainment Weekly. He noted the film would primarily focus on the dynamic between Larson's Carol Danvers, Teyonah Parris's Monica Rambeau, and Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan. That's what the entire movie is about, he said. There are fun cosmic elements to it. Marvel comic fans will recognize elements of the Kree Skull War. It is picking up directly after the end of Captain Marvel 1. Not in the timeline, but in story. We also do that in our upcoming Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion, and those are two very different follow-ups to that movie. Feige continued, tonally, they couldn't be more different, but there's something immensely powerful about seeing Monica and Kamala and Carol together in a frame. To me, it's only akin to the first Avengers movie and seeing the six of them together in a frame. It's chill-inducing. They're so great together, and they all have different histories with one another. The great thing about Kamala and her show and now is that this movie is that she's not unlike Tom Holland's Peter Parker in Civil War. She can't believe she's with these other heroes and can't believe that she finds herself in these places. And that's fun because we want to be that. I want to be that, he concluded. Now, I made a video on that particular interview that they're talking about again in this article, and it's hilarious because to me, it's very obvious what they're going to do with Miss Marvel. They're going to make her the front and center of this movie. I would almost guarantee that at this point. It's not a movie that I'm going to see because honestly, I'm pretty much over Marvel. I haven't even seen Ant-Man Quantumania because I just don't want to give them money at this point. I feel like Marvel just doesn't deserve it. Like Marvel used to be one of those things where we would go out into the movie theaters and see it as soon as possible and get those reviews out there. But now for me, I just don't care. I don't care. I'd rather just read a Wikipedia about the story and keep it moving, honestly, because it just doesn't, I just don't feel like a lot of their movies are worth the money anymore. And it's sad because it's totally different from how it used to be a few years ago. It says he also told Entertainment Weekly that Vellani's Miss Marvel would steal the show. I'm very proud of the Miss Marvel show. I also know that this is a spoiler. She essentially steals the Marvels, which is coming out July 28th. So exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. They're going to make Miss Marvel front and center. This girl is their new diversity queen. There's no way they're going to make her in a background figure. They're going to put her in the limelight. That's what they're going to do. However, Feige also hinted that a lot of people didn't actually watch Miss Marvel on Disney+. It makes me excited that people will, I hope, see that movie and then go back and revisit those shows on Disney+. The fun thing about streaming is that they are there forever and people can keep re-exploring them. Miss Marvel viewership is some of the worst for Marvel Studios' production on Disney+. The series premiere only garnered 249 million minutes viewed, according to Nielsen. By the time the show's finale debuted on July 13th, which means the entire first season was available on to stream, Nielsen reported the show only brought in 357 million minutes viewed. That is terrible, bro. That is god awful. And it's god awful. But again, they are doubling down, tripling down on their worst IPs. It's weird. It's like the worse a show does from Marvel, the more they want to double down on it because they just don't want to admit that people did not want to go see Miss Marvel. People didn't want. They just didn't care. They didn't care about Miss Marvel. It wasn't a thing for them. They did not care. Why would they care? Think about it. Why would people care about Miss Marvel? It's one of the worst IPs you could have brought up to make people even get close to caring about it. But of course, once again, because she's their diversity queen or princess at this point, they're going to focus and double down. It says on top of Miss Marvel performing poorly on Disney Plus, Disney CEO Bob Iger also indicated that Marvel production quality has significantly declined. Now, again, they're going to talk about the earnings call that we've spoken about in videos prior. But yes, Bob Iger has mentioned that, unfortunately for Disney, they have taken a major hit in terms of production simply because they need to reduce costs dramatically. Their spending is way out of control, and they are not producing anything that's worth the money that they are spending. It says it's quite likely that Marvel Studios could indeed have delayed the Marvels to give it more time in post-production in order to try and improve the film. However, Marvel Studios also recently attempted the same with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, where they actually had Paul Rudd reshooting scenes a month out from the film's release date. It does not appear to have improved the quality of the film. As a critical drinker said, watching this movie is like eating a Big Mac for the 500th time in your life. Just another iteration of the same formula that's exactly what you expect from start to finish and leaves you feeling vaguely dirty and disappointed in yourself afterwards. That's probably one of the best ways to explain what it's like to see a Marvel film now. In my opinion, that's one of the best ways because, again, we talk about it all the time. Marvel is extremely formulaic, and I understand that formula got them to where they are. It got them to that notoriety that they had now, not so much anymore, but they had that notoriety, especially after Phase 3 ended and Endgame ended and all that. They were huge. Marvel was huge. There's no denying it. Marvel was printing money left and right. You couldn't fail with a Marvel movie. It was guaranteed to be successful. But now that is not the case. Unfortunately, Phase 4 has started a horrible trend of terrible, terrible production value and also just terrible writing in general. Non-stop messaging, non-stop pandering, they completely went off the rails. And that's mainly in due part to Kevin Feige, and that's his fault. He decided to say, okay, after Phase 3, we've done what we're supposed to do. We made the story we wanted to tell. Now let's use our notoriety to push messaging. And that's what they're doing. They started hiring writers that didn't care about the IP. They purposely did so. They started hiring people that didn't want anything to do with the actual stories that they were writing. All they wanted to do was hire people that wanted to insert themselves politically into the characters they were writing, and that's exactly what they were doing. Jessica Gal with She-Hulk is no different. Jessica Gal is probably one of the best examples of this, and unfortunately, it's just going to continue. That's why I am not giving Marvel my money anymore. I'd rather just go watch someone else's review of it, or I'd rather read a Wikipedia telling me the story. I literally don't want to give them a single dollar because they don't deserve it. They haven't shown me they deserve it. Their production quality is terrible, and they're trying to cut costs to the point where they're cutting costs to make up for the money they lost in China. That's basically what it is, because they want to stick to their pandering. They want to stick to the diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense in the West, and in order to do so, that means they have to give up what's going on in China. So they are trying to make sure that any movie that they know is not going to make it in China, they have to make up the cost somehow, some way, and by doing that, that's by cutting costs, reducing CGI value, reducing overall production value, and that's going to hurt them in the long run. So I cannot wait to see Marvel continue to go downwards, because at the end of the day, they deserve everything that they're getting. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.